This is your WW3 news. Let's go back to the doom and gloom stuff. World War III. We don't know whether it started or in the middle of it, or in any moment is going to all hell break loose. No one knows. We're kept in the dark about certain things. I think all things just about. Cloudflare. I think everyone knows about the outage of for 7 hours. This type of high-tech company which guarantees access to most websites, very important ones as well. It goes on. Most of the 20%, most of the web itself is 20% hardwired, worldwide speaking. Underground cables, undersea cables, all that stuff. And as usual, how vulnerable, you know, this type of technology is. They want you to have a digital wallet and everything else, digital ID, everything which is online and stuff like that. It's all hackable. They can say it's all safe and stuff like that. No, certain protocol securities, yes, it can protect it at a certain point, but not 100%. Now, that railway track which the Polish said the Russians blew up, resulted the Ukrainians did it. Some Ukrainian cell. And this is what the Polish government officially said. It was Ukrainians blowing up our railway tracks, attacking our infrastructure. While we have NATO and our sidekicks of Kiev targeting the doomsday radio station, which that what probably synchronises the nuclear triage of the Russian military forces. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous how vulnerable these things are. You know, I think the Russians would have come to a point and now say we had enough, off with the gloves, and we're going to come down one like a sledgehammer. They did more west than these Kiev Nazi nincompoops, which they are, as of they are Nazis. If you know about Stefan Bandera, he's a very famous neo-Nazi activist, Ukrainian during the Second World War. You know, and they have that type of Nazi ideology. Their society is based on that. And mind you, the West are financing a war, financing these neo-Nazi organisations, which is absolutely astonishing. That's what our taxpayers' money. European Union, now 6 billion euros. Von der Leyen said yes for the democratic process, the war against Russia. It's a war against Russia, like the war which Trump wants to do with Venezuela. It's all resources. They want resources as well, dominations, all that shit. And the fact, well, the Russians, if they're not that stupid to fall for these false flag attacks. It's just a false flag attack invented by the West for NATO to officially enter in the war. But who launches these missiles in the end? It's going to be the Tomahawks, HIMARS, all of those other missile systems which are supplied to Ukrainians. They're operated by NATO personnel. There's no Ukrainian pushing a button. There's no Ukrainian having access to to the satellites and picking the targets or intelligence. It's all NATO, Western intelligence. Thinking, taking out a nuclear defence system on another country, sovereign country, you're committing an act of war. You're asking for World War III. And obviously, the people are hearing about the narrative about Slava Ukraine and all that shit. It's a proxy of NATO, a proxy of the West. Because they want war, the West. Whatever type it is, World War III, even nuclear. For some reason. And we got a bunch of psychopaths in governments in America and in Europe and so on. They are psychopaths. They don't give a shit about you, whatever the consequences will be. You know, you're going attacking a superpower, which is probably number 2 in the world when it comes to nuclear and military force. You're asking for World War III, mate. And the people do not realise our governments are funding and pushing and encouraging and inciting these fucking arseholes of Kiev to do the dirty work for them. How many Ukrainians died for this democratic course which the von line says? 2 million so far. Even the Russians have their casualties. No one's perfect. But the Russians, they don't want to come in heavy-handed. Probably they're waiting for the right moment, so this is enough. They should have resolved this years ago when it started. Being a bit more heavier. And like this, probably wouldn't have the nutters of the West inciting for World War III. It's absolute lunacy what they are doing. We could be on the brink of World War III in any moment. And obviously, attacking one of those top brass military, which I've forgotten his name, which was attending the funeral. And there was some type of time bomb in that cemetery. They knew he was going there. Obviously, some Ukrainian sleeping cells in Russia, spies, they're in every country. And when they have to be activated at a moment, they just be activated and follow orders, and what they have to do, they will do. In the event of war. And obviously, going back to before the cloud flare thingy, which I explained in the other video, seeing our society is all on, you know, internet basically. It when that gets knocked out, the lights go out.